What's good, everybody? It's Bach Key, aka Bach Dollar, and I wanted to make a quick little vid while I'm here at the job at the gig. It's early in the morning. It's about 9:22. Kind of slow so far in the morning, so don't have customers just yet. Hopefully the day picks up, but I wanted to make a quick video real quick because listening to a lot of people on Twitter, because I'm still not calling that thing X, but I still call it Twitter. But on Twitter, social media, and everything like that, a lot of people, are still talking about, the whole Justin Fields, should we keep him? Should we draft a new quarterback? The same, conversation we've been having this whole time. And my biggest thing, that I've constantly and consistently said is I'm a Justin Fields fan, but I'm also a Chicago Bears fan first and foremost. I'm the team over an individual. But at the same time, I can't not see what my eyes are looking at. My eyes are telling me that Justin Fields can play and that we just need to have an offense that's catered to his skill set. Now, that's an argument that a lot of us, in Bears Nation have made, and that, has been beaten to a dead horse. But I want to talk about something else that I've noticed with this offense that absolutely zero people have talked about. And I won't say absolutely zero. I'll say there's been a couple of people that mentioned it in passing, but for the most part, no one has really done a deep dive into the subject. And it's, Darnell Mooney. Now, I know people have talked about Darnell Mooney struggling this season, and they've attributed that to Luke Getsy, the offense in general, or they attributed to Justin Fields not being able to get the ball out quick enough and everything else. Now, and those two things probably are key factors in why Darnell Mooney has not been able to, really show what he can do. But it's also one other thing that a lot of people have missed that nobody brought up, and I'm surprised nobody brought it up. But I've noticed it, so that's why I'm making this video to bring it up. Luke Getsy came from Green Bay, obviously, right? He runs that Green Bay style offense here. Now, if I remember correctly, when Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams was in Green Bay, one of the many things that they struggled with offensively was finding a second wide receiver to go along with Davante Adams. Like, for the most part, as great as, that offense was, they consistently could not find a number 2 receiver to go alongside of Davante Adams. Like, typically, the wide receiver 2 or the other wide receivers on the other side of Davante Adams struggled. Whether it was Allen Lazard, or whether it was Equanimeous St. Brown, whether it was MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, or a host of others. For the most part, if you were a wide receiver on the other side of Davante Adams during the Rodgers years, even the MVP years, those other wide receivers struggled because the bulk of the targets went obviously to Davante Adams, and rightfully so. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers was wrong to do that, but the bulk of the targets in that offense went to Davante Adams. So because of that, the other wide receivers struggle, or I won't just say wide receiver, the other pass catchers struggle, because I would say even tight ends would have an issue, at times. Anybody that wasn't Davante Adams struggled. The reason I bring that up is because, like I said, no one really brought that up. And to me, it's the answer to the question of why Darnell Mooney is struggling. as much as we want to talk about how, you know, Justin's decision making or how Justin needs to get the ball out quick, and those are valid arguments because those are things that he needs to do. We also need to take into consideration that the offense that we're running, that Green Bay style offense, has a hard time catering to a wide receiver that's not the number one. And we know that for a fact because Green Bay struggled with finding a wide receiver or having a wide receiver two that was, you know, not the one, or another wide receiver to go along with Devontae Adams. So to me, I feel like the reason why we're seeing Darnell Mooney struggle is not just because of Justin not getting the ball out. To me, I think it's because of this offense in general. This offense caters more to the number one receiver, where the number one receiver is supposed to get the bulk of the targets. The same way Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, the bulk of the targets went to Devontae Adams. If you notice, the bulk of the targets are going to DJ Moore. And I'm not saying that's right or, you know, or that's wrong. But what I am saying is that's a staple of this Green Bay offense. So when we talk about why is Darnell Mooney struggling, you have to look at history. You have to look at the entire view. We can't just sit here and say, oh, well, he's struggling because Justin won't throw him the ball, or Justin's holding on to the ball too long, so that's why he's struggling. When we can look back years in the past with this same offense and we watch other wide receiver twos struggle on the other side of a wide receiver one in this same style offense with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like Aaron Rodgers, as much as, you know, I'm a Bears fan, I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. You know, I give him his credit. I give credit where credit is due. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He is a Hall of Famer. You know, but one of the downsides of that offense was that other wide receivers that were not Devontae Adams would struggle in this offense because the bulk of the targets are going to the one. To me, that's not a Justin Fields thing. That's an offense thing. It's a style of offense thing. Because we watch literally Aaron Rodgers run this same offense, and we watch his wide receiver two struggle because the bulk of the targets was going to Devontae Adams. That's why, in my opinion, we're seeing the struggles of Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is in an offense that caters heavily to the wide receiver one getting the bulk of the targets. And because of that, we've seen his production drop off. Now, it sucks because he's in a contract year and he's trying to get his bread. But to me, that's kind of the answer to why Mooney is struggling. Now, like I said, I'm not sitting up here making excuses for Justin. You know, Justin has to, you know, make quicker decisions, and he has to, you know, get the ball out quicker. Don't get me wrong. You know, I've been saying that for the longest time, and I understand it. But we can't ignore history. We can't ignore the history of an offense. You know, I can't ignore the fact that when people say, oh, Mooney is struggling, and it's because, oh, you know, Justin's not making decisions quick enough, when I seen this same style offense run by one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, and we've seen that quarterback struggle getting another wide receiver involved that's not the wide receiver one, to me, that's the offense. That's not the quarterback. That's not the quarterback. That's the style of offense. This style of offense caters to the wide receiver one. So the wide receiver one are going to get the bulk of the targets. So at the end of the day, you know, we gotta, you know, we have to, you know, dive more in depth and look at these things. Because if we look into history, history has a lot of answers to the questions that we currently have in current day. You know, sometimes it pays off to look back. That way it can help us move forward. You know, there's a lot of answers to a lot of the questions that we have about this offense if you look in the past of how this offense was ran, and more importantly, the production level in said offense. And when this offense is ran at a high level, or at the highest level, what does it look like? And like I said, as we know, when this offense is being run at the highest level, we see that the wide receiver too, a lot of the time, struggles because they don't get that many targets. But yeah, I wanted to make just a quick video, talk about it real quick, because I've seen some people, you know, on Twitter and everywhere talking about Darnell Mooney's production and how it's Justin's fault because he's not throwing to Mooney. And it's like, okay, I get where y'all are trying to say that, but it's hard for me to believe that that's on Justin when I've seen Aaron Rodgers struggle getting another wide receiver involved in this same offense when he had a wide receiver one. It's hard in this style of offense to get a wide receiver who's not the number one involved, because we've seen Aaron Rodgers struggle to get other wide receivers involved in this offense that's not the number one. So I just wanted to, like I said, make a quick video on that and talk about that. I am gonna start doing my, YouTube shows. I definitely ordered, my equipment. I got some equipment coming in next week. My goal is to hopefully, start being able to do some live streams or do some videos, hopefully within the next week and a half, once this other equipment get in, so I can start really, grinding hard on this YouTube stuff and, getting my content out there and getting my, my info and getting my opinions out there. Shout out to P Kid, Pat the designer, everybody at Windy City Breeze. Shout out to Hayes, Bear Central, everybody, Steve-O, everybody for, always giving me, good advice, and helping me, motivate me to get this done, because, I definitely want to get out there and, share my, opinions and share my stories on a host of different subjects. My show won't just be about Chicago, sports. The majority of it will be Chicago sports, but I'm going to dabble into a lot of different things. I'm going to dabble even into wrestling content. This whole WWE, AEW stuff, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm going to have, some videos talking about that. So it's going to be a whole host of stuff coming for you guys. So I hope you guys, follow me on this journey. And, I'll definitely let everybody know once I start, the shows and start putting the content out there. But once again, appreciate you. Anybody that watches this, like the video, hit subscribe to the YouTube channel. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Peace out.